Awesome, we're recording. So, hi guys, my name is Mariah
Yay!
Johnson. I'm a holistic health coach, and this is Brittany. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm a holistic coach specializing in past trauma with a background in personal training. So, yeah.
Mm. So, I'm super excited because today, Brittany and I really wanted to share with you guys a lot of what we've experienced and what we've overcome as far as everything along the lines of body shame, weight, struggling with self-love and acceptance. And we also really want to share with you guys what we're still struggling with and
Mhm.
what tools have helped us really just continue progressing through this entire journey. And so what we're
Yes.
aiming for here is for really just a lot of education and hopefully some relatable new faces so that you can see yourself in us and recognize, like, okay, I can do this. I can overcome this.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's going to be okay. So,
Yeah. I'm not weird in thinking these ways. Like people who have been in the fitness world and struggle, people that have been doing this for a while still struggle with a lot of the things too.
exactly. Yeah. All of the picture perfect Instagram feeds that we see, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes and mentally and emotionally than oftentimes what we see on the feed. And same with
Yes.
YouTube and everywhere else. So, yeah. Just want to
Yeah.
give you guys a
Absolutely.
little dose of reality and hope you can relate. So,
Yep.
we're going to dive into just asking each other some questions and let the conversation go from there. So,
Sounds good.
Brittany, where did your shaming and self talk begin? Where did all of that come from? Where did it stem from for you?
Well, for me, originally, it started when I went dress shopping for my wedding. Back in the day, back in 2005 when 2006 when I got married. And I was trying on sizes that were way bigger than I anticipated them being. So from there was like a snowball effect. Like I decided like I wanted to start working out. I wanted to watch what I was eating because before that I really wasn't paying attention to all that. Fast forward years later, I went to school for personal training and got into that, but I took it to a point of like almost obsession. I counted the calories and I worked out super hard, and I was always looking at myself in the mirror and always picking apart what still wasn't good enough.
Mm.
What ripple, what like cellulite and stretch mark, what was there that like I did not want to be there, and I would hone in on those things. I wouldn't allow myself really to see what was beautiful and wonderful. It was just what wasn't right.
Exactly what we all do. Mm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And yeah, so but then to come out of it and to learn to like nourish my body more so now where I am today, there's been a lot that's gone on in between, and it's not that the body shaming doesn't stop, it's just learning the tools and how to like deal with it better now, right?
yes, yes. And so it sounds like that's really when you realized something needed to change, was through that kind of transition period from getting wedding dresses, trying them on, becoming a PT.
Hmm.
So what happened in there that made you realize, like, okay, I need to do something different? Like, this method of thinking is not working for me anymore. Like, what tipped that for you?
Like the obsession way of thinking, oh my gosh. So what really tipped that was like my family and my friends, they're like, because I was restricting my diet so much, like people were actually getting worried about me at one point in time. They're like, oh my goodness, like you've lost so much weight, you're
Mm.
not eating very much, you're this and that and the other. And for a while I kind of shut it out, but eventually I was like, okay, it's time for me to start doing something. But to be even more transparent, meditation is actually what really helped me to tune in and hear that within myself instead
Mm.
of like hearing all the outside criticism. It was like finally I was able to find that truth in myself and be like, okay, it's time to start eating to nourish my body, and it's time to start working out and following the rhythms that my body needs instead of just like kill it every day at the gym. Like just do it no matter how tired you are, take the pre-workout and just suck it up. Like no, like no more of that.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it can be good to kind of take a break and step back and relax and let your body heal itself.
Yes, yes, for sure. I had to learn that the hard way, girl, no doubt.
Ah, I bet. I bet. everybody's story is so, it's interesting because everyone's story is so different, but there's also so many similarities within just that whole transitional period, that whole journey. Like, you know, we can all be doing completely different things, but that pattern of like, okay, like this is not okay anymore. Like, okay,
Right.
maybe everything everyone is saying to me, like maybe there's actually something to that. Like maybe I need to take a look, see what's really
Yeah.
going on.
Right. It's all
And so,
varying degrees, you know?
definitely. Were you into meditation your whole life, or when did that come in and help you start to recognize what was going on internally?
Yeah, I grew up with a stepfather who was into Reiki, and he taught me meditation when I was young, but I was so busy and in my own head and into other things that just did not appeal to me. Sitting down, like quiet, no. I
Yeah.
had no time for that. You know, that wasn't productive, you know, I used to think. So,
I so
I
get
got
that.
into it right? Oh yeah. Even now, like there's even times now where like I'll be like, gosh, I could be doing like so much more right now than sitting still for 10 minutes, but
Mhm,
I see the value in it now, you know? Like
mhm.
it creates tangible results, right?
Completely. And in all areas of life. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it helps
Yeah.
you focus better and feel better and like reflect a lot more internally. And also like it can
Yeah.
help with your career. It can help you actually be able to just like become a magnet for the money and clients and everything that you need and the friends that you want to make and the
Right.
relationships that you want to create. And yeah, like it's so much more than just sitting still for 10 minutes. But I had the same problem. It was like, no, no, no.
Boom. Yes.
I need to do something more. That's not productive enough. Not knowing that
Yes.
I was just becoming a magnet for all those things that I wanted to get done in that time.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. But to answer the question, it's been probably about 2.5 years solid of going inside and meditating and that kind of thing.
Wow.
But it probably 2 years of actually like really listening to my body though, you know, and doing what it needs and eating the way that it needs and you know all that
Definitely.
for
Definitely.
sure.
Well, let's switch it up really quick. And then after that, we'll get more into the tools
Okay.
and how we've been working through it.
Okay, I've got some questions for you now then.
Perfect.
Okay. So, what triggers you to feel insecure in your own skin?
Ooh, that's a good question. Wow. I would say, this is really funny that we talked about this before. We're like, I love it when I get good questions and I have to think about it. So
Exactly. Yes.
I think for me, it's, at least now, it's a lot less about body things and seeing things that I want to accomplish or achieve more so in kind of my career, as far as like, well, I want to be able to help that many people, or like, well, I
Okay.
want to be able to have a launch that's this big. And then it makes me think like, oh, okay, well, am I meditating enough? Am I, doing positive affirmations enough and things like that? And so when it comes
Okay.
more to body stuff, I think what
Hmm.
really used to do it for me is hearing other people talk about their bodies, whether it was positive or negative, didn't really matter.
Okay.
Just hearing people talk about their bodies would make me either mentally be like, no, 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 you're wrong. This is how it is. Like, I would never say it to people, but in my mind, I would be like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
these are my thoughts. So you're wrong because my
Hmm.
thoughts have to be right.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
my reality.
Yeah, exactly. It's my reality. So it has to be your reality too.
Yeah.
And if I heard something that I did agree with, it was more of like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. So like that thought is right. Like, yes, like,
Validated it
you
then.
shouldn't exactly validated. Like, okay, so yeah, I shouldn't have cellulite. Like, I shouldn't have my thighs shouldn't look this certain way. Like, I shouldn't have extra jiggle on my tummy. Like, okay, this is how it should be. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm right. I'm on track. I agree with them. And
Okay.
so that's really where that came from for me.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. You took that question to a whole nother place, and I'm so happy you did. Like
Cool.
that was not an answer I was like expecting to happen, but it just like opened my mind so much more. So thank you.
Yay. Cool.
Okay. So So were you ever obsessed with food or working out? Was that ever an obsession for you?
Completely. Mostly, I guess I went through phases of both. So first, right after high school, I went through a phase of being obsessed with working out. I was always really, really active growing up in multiple different sports. And in college, didn't end up making the one sport that I tried out for. So I was like, now what? Like, of course, my mind just went like, I'm going to get fat. Like, this is going to be terrible. Like, I'm never going to be able to stay
Yeah.
healthy. And so, yeah, I got very, very obsessive with working out. Went to like all of the free college gym classes that I possibly could, sat in the sauna for hours and hours,
Okay.
especially in the wintertime because it was so cold. And then I also got Insanity. So I didn't get it like through the company. I just like got it off Amazon because I think I heard of
Okay.
it somewhere and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Sure, let's try it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it got really obsessive for me because I could tell how intense the workouts were. Like I thought I was pretty fit and they were really hard for me. So I was like, cool, like I'm gonna try getting up to doing these like twice a day. And so at one point I was
Okay.
doing them morning and night and they're very intense workouts. Like once a day is a lot.
Okay.
Twice a day
Yeah.
is extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that for about a year and got down to the weight that I was like thought was ideal for me.
Okay.
And then I started getting the comments of like, wow, you're really, really, really skinny. Like, are you okay?
Mhm.
Like, you've been sick a
Yeah.
lot lately. Like, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah.
And then I was like, so offended. Just like, I've been working so hard to like get this small. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is so rude. So then I started
Yeah.
looking at the food side of it. And that it was a couple of years later before I became really obsessed with that. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of
Wow.
how it went for me. Like slowly building up and then like all in. And then with
See, this,
similar.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
no,
This is why this is so beautiful to connect in this way, because I feel like I see where you're at now
no.
and I have so much respect for you as a health coach. And I loved it. I hate that you went through all that, of course, but we don't really know what it's like on the light side until we've gone through the dark side. And to hear your journey with it that way, it's just like, I respect you 10 times more, knowing like the struggle you had to go through to like value your health in a whole nother level now, you know?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, I just have one more that I want to ask you. Do you find yourself engaging in like negative self-talk still, even now? Like, do you find that happens randomly? Like it'll just come up in your head?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Yeah, especially when it comes to growing up, I was always the know-it-all.
Okay.
Anybody told me anything, like didn't matter who it was, didn't matter if it was a 5-year-old told me something or a teacher or anybody. If anyone told me anything, I would just respond with, I know, I already know, I know. Like that was literally my response to everything.
Okay.
And at one point it finally got to where like I could hear myself and I was like, okay, that's really annoying. I need to stop doing that.
Okay.
So when I was finally able to like turn that around, it turned into really always, always, always questioning myself and like holding back on thoughts and holding back on sharing things. And so that's what I'm
whole other opposite end of the spectrum then.
exactly. And so that's what I'm still working
Okay.
through now, is really being like, okay, I am right. I do know what I'm talking about. I'm correct. Like it's okay to express my opinions and like share what I do know and share the knowledge that I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so that's really where it's at. I feel like in a way I want to say confidence, but it's not really confidence. It's just opening up and speaking about what I think I'm right about.
Okay.
If that even makes sense.
It does make sense. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny how like, especially us women, like we're like all or nothing, you know, like you just took that one thing like that I know and then took it to the whole other level. Like, I don't know anything. Like I have to question everything.
Yeah.
You know? And it's beautiful that you've brought awareness to it now, you know, and like you probably observe it when it pops up now.
Completely. Yeah. I mean, it came up yesterday. I was questioning myself with some coaching things and some business things. And luckily it was on a call with my coach as well. And so
Okay.
just kind of like stopping it right there. She's like, no, don't question yourself. Like, that's right. Like, keep going, keep doing it.
Okay.
Like, you know exactly what
Okay.
you mean. And that it was just kind of like, I needed that. Okay, you're right. I do know what I'm doing. It's going to be fun.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That is so awesome. So, what are some resources that that have like helped you along your process of becoming more holistically healthy with your body, mind, soul connection?
Yes. So I'm actually pulling up on my phone. There's a couple of books that were extremely, extremely helpful for me. What I would say has been helpful is really finding direct people that I can communicate with, whether that's been a coach that I paid for or just really cool new friends on Instagram or YouTube even. I would say like the most helpful thing for me has been finding someone that I can really 100% relate to and just getting in their energy and mind as much as possible. And so for me, everyone's going to be totally different, but for me, someone who was extremely helpful was Sarah's Day on YouTube. When I first started following her, she was like exactly where I was. Like she had terrible skin. She was always breaking out. And she was also like on this fitness journey, and she literally just shared her life on there. And so seeing all the experiments that she did was really helpful for me. And then I think about a year ago, she got pregnant, she's had a baby, and now like it's a lot less relatable for me. But I'm like, I still love her as a person. But just having that connection, even though obviously she has no idea who I am, I'm like, no, we're friends. Like,
like I know you.
Exactly. And so, yeah, through things like that and through having group coaching programs either that I've led or that I've been in and building relationships with people in there, I've become friends with tons of people on Instagram, just like Brittany. And we just encourage each other on whatever journey we're on at the moment. And so community really has been the most helpful. I feel like that's when things started to change for me, is when I stopped being the know-it-all and trying to do it all myself. When I started reaching out and accepting help and encouraging other people, cheering other people on, that's when change started to happen for me. So that's one big tool. What about for you? What's one big tool that's really helped you?
I have a couple, but so the one book that I know you and I both was big for both of us is the Warrior Goddess Training.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. That was a really powerful book to read. As far as like any woman at all can benefit from hearing the wisdom that's in that book. And it's just like returning back to our own like sovereign divinity that all of us women have, and men in their way too. But for us women, there's so much to be cherished and valued within our body. And we're just like, we live in a society, it's so easy to just be like, well, I'm not good enough because of this, and this. But instead to change our whole entire mindset to what is amazing, what's perfect, what's already, that book really helps you to like open up to that. So Warrior Goddess Training, that's the book. And then I guess the biggest thing that I could share for anyone is just to learn to honor your body wherever it is that day. Because there are some days where I can still look in the mirror and be like, if I could just change this or whatever. But observing that day and just tuning into yourself and say, but what do I need right now? What do I need to feel more love? Do I need to go take a bath? You know, do I need to get on the phone with a friend? Do I need to write, journal, do whatever it is that day that really that your body's like calling and craving for you to do. And just know that you're not perfect. Some days it's going to be like, cool, I love myself, I'm feeling myself, I look real good. And then other days you're like, I don't know about that. Like, maybe I shouldn't go out in public looking like that. Like, you know,
who's this girl?
Yeah.
I love that, because something that made me think of is really becoming and remaining a student through all of it. I feel like that's one of the most helpful things that we can do as well, is being open to learning new things, being open to experimenting. Like, every single person's body is completely different, even though we all look similar. We all have 2 arms, 2 legs, hopefully, and all of that, but internally everything is functioning completely different. And so the more that you are open and willing to experiment and test things out and just be open, I think the better results that you're going to have, and the more you're going to learn. And when you're learning that, you're able to share it and help other people too. And so one of the books I really wanted to share is called Eat to Live by Joel Fuhrman. I always forget the name because I just call it my colorful nutrition book.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll actually be able to see the little cover on here. Nope, you can't see it. Anyways, it's like a bunch of different colors. I'll just call it my colorful book. But that one, it brings in enough science to understand why you want to do certain things. And it also brings in enough stories to be like, oh, okay, this is legit. This isn't just like another random story. And it also isn't just talking about like one specific diet. It's talking about pretty much what I teach, which is learning to understand your body and experiment with different foods, experiment with different kinds of workouts, learn to understand your mind and your habits and your triggers and all of that stuff so that you can build up, bring awareness from it, and move past it. And there are lots of podcasts that are really amazing too. That's something that I love listening to just in the car, when I'm showering, when I'm cooking dinner, pretty much any time. You can just put headphones in, clean your house, like just doing something kind of mindless. Like, you can put that podcast in and learn about nutrition, and then maybe that'll give you an idea to try something new for the week.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. Ooh, actually, I have one last tool, and I pretty much just call it a controller meditation. And so a really simple way to do it, I'll probably end up putting it somewhere either on my YouTube or Instagram or something soon. But essentially what it is imagining in your mind that there is like an empty space, and this is a room. It's an empty room up in the top of your mind, and there's a miniature version of you that's living up there, and this person is just the controller. He's up there like, or she is up there like moving things around, saying like, oh, okay, we need to like move this blood over here. We need to make sure she's still breathing, make sure all these things are happening, make sure thoughts are happening like normal. And they want to obviously control everything. And so when it comes to trying to get healthier and change your body, sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not good when we're trying to control every aspect of everything. And so essentially what you then do is imagine a pole, like a fireman's pole, and a ladder that are going from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your body. And just imagine that you get to choose whichever one you want. You can take the ladder on the way down and inspect everything from the inside and take a really good look and just see like, oh, what's going on in here? What's happening? Or you can take the pole down however you want to, whatever sounds good to you.
Okay.
And then once you get down into the bottom, you imagine there's another empty room, and that you just sit there, float around, experience it, listen to your body. And this is a really good way, I find, to just start to understand what's going on internally, whether that ends up being more emotional stuff. Sometimes ancestral stuff comes up. Sometimes it's, physical things come up. So just being open and aware to whatever your body is trying to tell you and talk about. And you can ask yourself questions from down there. And then when you're ready, you just come back up, go ahead and put your controller back and let them continue on with their day and go from there. So yeah, of course you can edit that as you please, but that's the basis of it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, please share that. Like, you could even make a guided meditation. That's a beautiful meditation. I love the idea of doing that.
Yeah. That's the plan. So that will be coming at some point. That's pretty simple to, kind of guide yourself through for now.
Right.
You can do it.
I'm doing it. I'm going to try it. Yeah.
Yeah. You could do it in a couple of minutes. You could take like an hour to do it, like depending on how in depth you want to get with everything. So yeah, it's fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, thank you. I know that we've been wanting to share this for a while now, and we finally did it. So
we did.
really, really hope this has been helpful for everybody who's watching. And Brittany,
Yeah.
go ahead and share your, like, where can people find you?
I'm Brittany Kurp on Instagram, and as of right now, that is where I spend most of my time. And yes, I offer holistic coaching primarily to people that have gone through some kind of trauma, anything like that. So that's what I am all about. And I'm really grateful for you too. Seriously, Mariah, like, thank you so much for doing this with me. Cause yeah, this was definitely something that's been, you know, a shared thing that we've talked about over the months that we've known each other. And, like, yeah, this was pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, this is the power of social media. Just connect with people, make real friendships, and
Yep.
they'll support you, and you can support them in whatever phase of your journey you're on at the moment. So,
Yeah.
I
I love
appreciate
it.
you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then, I guess as well, if you guys are watching this on Brittany's channel, my Instagram at the moment is Cookie Dough Health Coach.
She's
Hopefully, I won't
amazing.
be changing it super soon. I've been changing it to my name again, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, my name is Mariah Ann Johnson on pretty much everything else. So that's where you can find me. And I also do
Awesome.
holistic health coaching, mostly with nutrition and mindset. So helping people similarly overcome any obstacles that are coming up for you and be able to live your best life in every way.
Yep. You rock.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Brittany. I will stop the recording now.